I don't care enough to mock you for 2 whole minutes. Anywho.
All right. Anyways, so where did we leave off? What are we talking about? Because
We're talking about AUTHORITAH.
respect my authority. But are we talking about that?
I think so. It's Father's Day.
So apropos. Oh my god. Yeah. The fact that it is Father's Day and we had a show planned about authority. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, so let's get into it. Authority. The reason I wanted to speak about authority this week is because obviously the things that have been happening the past few weeks. There's been a vocal minority in which they defend anything and everything anyone in authority and power do and say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously we have literally seen this come to light in the past couple of weeks when they, especially with Blue Lives Matter. I mean, they killed George Floyd because he was doing his job. He might have had a $20 counterfeit. I don't know if you want that in your neighborhood, but I know I don't.
I once saw a man who had a $20 counterfeit, and he died. It was really
Fucking
bad.
drop dead.
It was George Floyd.
That was dark.
Yeah. Martín León has been cancelled.
These are facts that have happened. These are done deals. And the only way that we can cope is to try to make light of it, even though it's not a subject to be made light of.
I mean, I think that's the genius of dark humor. It's the fact that you can deal with something in a way, with something really dark. And like here, it's not even something that, at least not something that I can say has affected like me personally. Like I've never, had to deal with anything like this personally. But when I'm thinking of all the fact that there's like, I feel like every other day there's a new name added to like, and like we're in the middle of a whole bunch of protests about police brutality. And police are still just like, oh, are you angry that we're being really, that we are using excessive force, and that we're, oh well, then I'll do it some more. It's like,
Or they get really angry that the fact that you have the goal to bring that up. Like, what? Are you telling me I'm not supposed to be able to do my job? Like, having the free will to beat the shit out of you? How dare you?
exactly. It's like pardon. Like I am just trying to do my job. Okay, I am just trying to overreact to everything around me in a way that is dangerous to more people around me. And then like I feel people who, like you say, are like super like, I need to respect the authority no matter what, and it's the authority, so it is my one guiding light. They start going against like everyone and everything. It's like, like, well, like those are the true essential workers, not the grocery people and blah blah blah. Like, yeah, it's like, okay, fine, then like stop going to the grocery store and just depend on the cops for like, the cops aren't gonna restock the shelves.
No, they would honestly be. I think they would throw a hissy fit. Like, what? Protect and serve my community does not mean actually serving them. I hope you.
Exactly.
I didn't sign up for this.
Exactly. Or like at some point someone said like, well, I think cops are more necessary than nurses, and I'm just like, I'm like, are you just because it's what they're doing in the end. Are you just throwing up stuff out there? Like, did you just start a sentence going like, think our cops are more essential than, and then your brain went through like a wheel of fortune of things and landed on nurses, you know, like more essential than nurses.
It went through teachers, nurses, grocery store workers, truck drivers. It landed on nurses. These agitators, these cowards, when they use a Nirvana Happy Face t-shirt and they go scribble or tag against a George Floyd mural, not knowing the fact that, again, Kurt Cobain was like, if you're a racist, we don't want you to listen to our shit. Like, what do you think? Well, like, how will it...
I mean, I find it super. It's frustrating, and it's also funny in a way that like you are not aware of the fact. Like you're so blindly sure of this prejudice that you assume everyone you admire shares it with you, when that's not true. In a different way, Mara Wilson, who's the actress that played Matilda, yeah, who she's a writer now. She's on Twitter and stuff. She will also tweet political opinions, and one thing that they will tell her is like, what do you know? Like, they will call her Matilda as a way of saying like, well, you're just this has-been child actress.
Yeah, to diminish her.
And she did tweet it was before all this. It was a year ago. She's like, I find it super weird. I'm also paraphrasing. I find it super weird that they use Matilda as a way of trying to shut me down, as if Matilda, a girl that went against her school's highest authority when she was 6, wouldn't have grown up to be this very opinionated woman, and I found that to be amazing. But yeah, I think it just shows how superficial they are in everything they consume. Because if you scratch at the surface of a lot of things that those people love, you will immediately start seeing either it does not support them the way they think they do, or B, it is just a whole bunch. It's smoke and mirrors, basically. They'll say, they'll just the idea that the whole of Europe was this one white mass that was banded together as we are the European Caucasians. And that's not true. For most of its history, Europe has been at war with itself. And most of the things that they're trying to take from Europe, like the Vikings and the Greeks and the Celts, they wouldn't.
I literally just saw a Facebook post about some dude saying it was basically a post about the Greek statues, them being intertwined in a gay fashion. They're like, the Greeks followed Christianity, so this is blah blah. I'm like, bro, what? Do you know the Greeks predate Christianity? They were all for the butt sex.
Yeah, no, they loved it.
It's these people, yeah. Like you said,
and again, they have the great tradition of the Nordics and the Greeks, and it's those are two different things, and neither would agree that they were part of the other. It wasn't the people that this. No, it's the Celts wouldn't be saying yeah, of course we're white, just like the Greeks. No. But they make this mythology of their culture.
No, and here's the thing with their culture, especially the people who do this Southern pride heritage bullshit. Dude, the South was a thing for 4 or 5 fucking years max.
Right, yeah. But going back to authority.
Authority. All right. Can I start off with a couple of jokes?
Sure.
So, why is it that cops are the only ones that can say it's only one bad cop one bad actor. But if one Dunkin' Donuts tells them they're out of glaze, they immediately boycott them. I feel cops have a love-hate relationship with the face masks. They love them because they hide the bloody faces. They hate them because they can't see and admire their handiwork.
That one dark.
When you look at a Venn diagram of someone who says blue lives matter, all lives matter, and I'm giving this Nigerian prince money because he's going to give me back $1 million, what do you have?
I don't know. What do you have?
A thin blue line circle that's filled in with red.
And one very happy Nigerian.
And one very happy Nigerian. And anyways, that's the authoritarian jokes that I have, just because, well, honestly, we all know that cops don't vote blue.
No.
And the blue lives, all lives matter people are straight up just... I don't want to be that vulgar, but they're... If cops were cows and all lives, blue lives matter people were people who liked milk, they would drink it straight from the tap.
Now I'm imagining it.
Don't imagine it. It's horrible and gross.
I have a hyperactive imagination. This is why I shouldn't be telling myself scary stuff at night, because like immediately I go like, right, and I'm gonna stop that right there because it is night. Okay.
So
I don't have any jokes about authority now that I think about it.
No, but don't you agree that there's this blind allegiance to authoritarianism?
I think that there's this idea that, and you know, there is that quote that about those people, that the people that are willing to give up freedom to gain security don't deserve either.
Ben Franklin.
Yeah, but I do think there's this, and I think it's very, I don't have the words very humor, but it's common for people to be like, I want to feel safe. And there's a lot of variables that I can't control. So if I think I can like give up these variables to someone, like, because the idea is like, yeah, like there's a cop car and that gives you security. So the fact that people are being told actually does not give you security, it is part of the system and blah, 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 blah. It flies in the face of people wanting to just, not to just feel safe and not think about it.
But here's the thing though. The people who feel safe when there's cop cars around are the people who benefit from that power structure.
Exactly. And they don't want to...
As someone who grew up lower middle class or lower class, it really depends on your perspective. I never saw a cop and said, yeah, that guy's gonna protect me. Whenever I saw a cop, I'm like, let me hide for a minute until it leaves.
Yeah. Because in the end, like, it's this thing where people say, well, if you haven't done nothing wrong, they're not going to do anything to you. And it's like, yeah, but you have created a system in which being me gives them a reason
Suspicion,
to suspect.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, like, but that was so they need to come face to face with the fact that this is happening, that the thing that they make them feel safe doesn't actually keep them safe or keep people around them safe. And that's a tough thing to deal with. And I mean, I'm not saying like poor people, blah blah. Like, yeah, you have to deal with it.
Deal with being poor? I mean, they don't have.
No. Deal with the fact that the police is a racist system.
People who are in authority. What do you think about that?
Oh, yes, people who are in authority. I mean, I think.
Broad questions, yeah, I know.
That's the other thing is that people who are in authority, of course, like being in authority and do things in order to not lose their authority. Something that people in authority love is having people who do not question their authority. So, for example, there was a tweet not long ago about this person who did not get a job at Applebee's. He did not, they have like psychology, psych
test.
Psych test.
Yeah.
Thank you. And they didn't. And the tweet was like, well, my cousin or something who did not pass the Applebee's psych test is just celebrating his 5th year as a corrections officer. As much as we want to believe that authority, there's certain filters in order for the right people to be in authority, it seems that the people that authority believes should be with them don't always match up.
Agreed. I remember when I was applying for a job at Guess. Guess is...
Guess? Okay. You were applying at a job at FC UK. You were applying at a job...
Close, but yeah, Guess the clothing brand. And one of the questions was, do you believe the president lies? And obviously, me. I don't know, not even me, dude. Do presidents lie? Yes. Of course, they absolutely lie.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to get super deep about it. Like, I'm sure sometimes they'll be like, "How are you? I'm fine," and they feel like shit. It's like
that's their fucking job. And the only reason I know this, that I did not get the job, was due to this one question. Because apparently, what these jobs, dude, honestly, in the end, they're not careers. They're fucking jobs. You're not going into Abercrombie and Fitch, Guess, Kenneth Cole to make a career out of yourself.
No.
In the end, these jobs want one thing. So you can't... They want you to not have the capacity to question a superior. And when he told me that, I was like, I honestly did not ever believe that the president was my superior. I absolutely know and respect the office that he's in, but if he told me you should probably follow that black guy around, that Mexican around the store, I would be like, why?
Why is he cute?
Exactly. So the people who are fulfilling these jobs, and this is especially true with cops, they're not looking for the best. They're looking for someone who literally does not question authority. They are looking for the Randalls of that Recess cartoon who's literally jotting down, all right, this motherfucker did this at X time. He did Y thing. I mean, and yeah, they do dangerous jobs. But no one literally asked them to do it. No one told them to submit their 3-page essay. They did it because they obviously couldn't serve 2 for $20s at Applebee's. They did it because it's the only thing that they could do with a high school diploma. I mean, ice road truckers have it far more dangerous and with less domestic violence that cops do. Because I don't know if you knew this, Martín, but the cops have a 40% rate of domestic violence.
Wow.
And I believe this is what the people who run their mouth with the whole Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, know, is that they're afraid that they can no longer benefit from their authority by white association. and they think that that will be taken away. And obviously, that's the point, right?
Yes. Yeah. And that's also kind of the thing where I'm annoyed, because like a lot of these people, they think, okay, if I just keep supporting basically white supremacy as a poor person, I will have benefits from the system, but like they will, as a society, they would get far more benefits from everyone being, free from this, than just like latching onto that thing and going like, yeah, I guess this is a good idea.
All right. So, anyways, Martin, we have talked about a lot.
Yeah.
A lot to unpack.
Yeah. I felt like at the ending of Cats right there. Like there's a song at the end of Cats where all Deuteronomy goes like, we've heard of many types of cat, and it's like, now it's like, we've talked of all kinds of authority, and the way it pisses us off.
Again, I feel that the audience and viewers absolutely know our mentalities in which how we proceed with things. You literally came out with Cats, and when you said Cats, I'm like, the movie that came out horribly, and you were like, no, the musical, the original by our friend Andrew Lloyd Webber. Andrew Lloyd Webber. I was close.
You were very close.
I got 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
All right, we did talk about authority. How, in general, it just sucks.
Yeah.
And the people who think that it's God's word, they also suck.
They kind of do.
But do you think you want to wrap us up? You want to take us out?
Yeah. So guys, as usual, we can follow us on social media. We are Semanal on Instagram, La Semanal Show on Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe, click the bell, comment on what you want us to talk about, and whatever you want us to talk about during the week, you can send us stuff to our social media. So do it. Follow us, or I'll be sad. And look, I'll just finish the show by showing, like, I finally did my nails again. And I'm happy. Have a nice week.
Have a nice week.